one of the cult heroes already for the Dockers. Fremantle going to the right in the first quarter. Wolf in the long sleeves. Delaney went in solidly. Didn't come out with a footy. He sock it up towards Muir. He gets beaten for it by Devonport. Let's kick up towards centre half forward. The only man to go for it is Todd Ridley. Almost looking for 50 metres. He's not going to get it. Played in a night premiership side with Essendon out here. So he should know the ground pretty well. And already we've seen the Dockers running game. Good shepherd behind play by, it was Winmar. And the kick taken away there by McManus. Up towards half forward for Fremantle. Georgiou applies a tackle. Burke, as Terry said, been in terrific form. Muir overruns it. Socket off the ground again. Still inside 50. Frawley into the back of his opponent. Umpire lets it go. And now St Kilda should be able to get clear. This is Justin Peckett.
And Peckett from halfback, short of centre wing. And the excellent mark is taken by Aussie Jones, the Norwich rising star from last week. He played a terrific game against Carlton. He's played all 10 this year. 18-year-old. His kick over centre wing, short of half forward. And a chance for the Dockers. The hand pass is farmed out to Chisholm. Chisholm towards centre half forward. Frawley wrestling. It comes to Dhurrkay, who started on fire last week. Here he goes again with the first shot on goal, but he's offline and kicks it behind.
What a great half-forward flanker carry Dhurrkay's proving to be. Last week, as we saw, he was able to ignite the game with 3 very quick goals at the start and eventually have Michael McLean move from him. And here he is putting himself in the same position. Fremantle have opened very well, being able to use the ball and run it so well in these good conditions.
Justin Peckett to bring the ball back, runner-up in the Saints' best and fairest last year. Kick to half-back. Wakeland only runs out of room. Tried for Devonport, a little bit too long for him, and also Harvey. Harvey still might get it, shuffled off the ground. Mildenhall a chance. Harvey might have given away the free kick. Devonport finally with the kick. Down to half forward, bouncing ball. Getting back quickly, Scott Chisholm, and showing them a clean pair of heels. Well played. Chisholm from the true centre half back position. Plenty of options up there, and Norrish takes the mark. It's been worked on by a trainer. We saw pre-match.
And has the job on Robert Harvey, Peter.
Well, you wouldn't envy him there. Big fly from behind the pack by John Hutton. Couldn't bring it down, and all tied up down there by number 14 for St Kilda, Kristian Bardsley. Because when he played for North Melbourne was Kristian Anning. Howard, McCauley and Nash this afternoon's umpires. Keogh. I think McCauley was one of the umpires who was KO'd here in an Ansett Cup match, if my memory serves me correctly. Devonport. Kick out of bounds on the full. It'll be a Fremantle kick, and it'll be taken out there by Todd Ridley.
And he takes it quickly into Wolf. Kick by Wolf from centre wing down towards the pocket. Mann and Frawley. Well done by Spud Frawley, who knocks the ball out of bounds, playing his 233rd game. Fine and cool, a perfect winter's day here in Melbourne. Currently 11, a bit nippy, expected to be 14. Sunny and still. Two number 9s, Vidovic and Mann. Comes to Waters, over his shoulder to the goal square. Wakeland is there, bursts out of defence. Well played by Darryl Wakeland. Chest mark, and this man kicked 3 goals last week, Glenn Coghlan. He was fantastic. Out wide to centre wing he goes, and Joel Smith takes the mark. Kick by Smith. No great distance. Winmar, a West Australian against a team of West Australians. It comes to Aussie Jones. The hand pass back to Keogh. Keogh off the left, pokes it up to Loewe. Oh, St Kilda player Zilla just got his hands to it, knocked it away from Loewe. And the hand pass came out to Delaney. Kick by Delaney to centre wing. Keogh's there. The spoil comes from behind. And that is Muir. Keogh once more, they're running into each other. Oh, take a week to pick the ball.
It certainly started quite ferociously here as we look at Groom and, yes, Jamie Shanahan, but some of the other key matchups in the midfield, Allen and Anderson, Chisholm and Jones in the back pocket and forward pocket respectively, and we've mentioned Norrish on Harvey.
Down by Vidovic, chance for Ben Allen, well played. Dockers skipper up towards half forward. And the mark is dragged in by Peter Mann. Certainly made a good move coming to the Dockers with the strength in the forward line of the North Melbourne side. Hard to displace Carey in half forward, of course. Hutton's got the ball, and we know what he can do distance-wise. Right on 50, very close to the man on the mark. In fact, kicked into the man on the mark. Still he fights on. Shanahan, well done. Bardsley. Kick off the ground by Spud Frawley. Only travels a few metres. Long enough for a mark, though, to Nathan Burke. Offloads it to Harvey. We've needed so much to the St Kilda side from midfield. It's over 30 possessions a match. Kickett, who took a screamer last week. Umpire's blown a whistle. Free kick St Kilda's way. Terry?
Yeah, I think what he was looking at, the Dale Kickett was holding Joel Smith out with his left hand while trying to take the mark with his right.
Joel Smith wearing the number 4, made famous by Tony Lockett, of course. Is that out on the full? Gee, it looked like it against Ridley. Boundary umpire's closer than we are, and he gives him the benefit of the doubt. Odds today, if you're having a bet, Kilda in the red, Fremantle 10-9. Wolf and Vidovic. Line ball, that one. Dockers. Chisholm to midfield. Kicked down by Georgiou. Up over the half-forward line. As far as it's going. Taken away for Fremantle by Anthony Jones. And still they run it away. Norrish, who seems to be moving okay after being in the hands of the trainers. With a bit of patch-up work maybe just before the siren. Bouncing ball half forward. Bardsley again. Peckett gives it back to the same player and he gets his kick.
Kick by Bardsley towards centre wing. And Smith almost pushed into that one. Gets the hand pass away to Robert Harvey. He's a little left footer towards the centre circle. Nicky Winmar at full stretch can't take the mark. There's only been one score, a behind of the Dockers. Winmar hand passes up in the air for himself. He'll take a free kick. Goes in short, and unmarked is Harvey. Maybe not the most scintillating game of Robert Harvey last week, but if he's on fire, watch out for him today. Yes, Stewie Loewe should have taken that mark. But McManus very keen to see the ball over the boundary line, and why not? The ball away from Stewie Loewe, and you're halfway home to winning. He was great last week and kicked 5 goals in the drizzle against the Blues. Boundary throw-in. Wolf wins in ruck. Ziller after it, using his body on Waters. Keeps the ball in. Winmar running out of room. And we'll have a throw in. 1-0, the Dockers leading.
Left half forward for St Kilda. Lowe, of course, when these two sides met in the Ansett Cup, was the match winner. He really set them alight. And they'll be looking for more of the same this afternoon. Winmar, ball jarred free in that tackle. Burke, likewise, umpire lets it go. Norrish, Burke again. The skipper gives away the hand pass, and the Dockers with these runs now. This is Mildenhall streaming downfield.
This is their
almost caught. Here he goes, shot at goal. And that looks pretty good. Goal umpire says, yes, sir. So first blood to the Dockers, and they lead by 7 points.
Is that an ominous sight?
Yes, it was most typical fashion, wasn't it? As we watched the ball being relayed here, and off screen here, all the blocking working. You see Muir there holding out Georgiou, allowing Mildenhall that run right onto 50, and he converted it so very, very well. Great kick.
So the Dockers with the first 2 scores, 1-1-0. There's no breeze to speak of. They've started well. It comes to Burke. His hurried kick inside the 50. Bad bounce for Loewe, but Jones is first back there. Anthony Jones for the Dockers. The hand pass over the top. And out of defence, Mann. Centre wing. Good mark. Yes, mark paid to Muir. 2 former North Melbourne players. Muir played in the reserves grand final last year for North. Kicked by Muir up towards half forward. A juggled mark. Here's Peter Mann at half forward. And the mark paid. The Saints fans not too happy.
Probably a little bit technical just in the contest there. There perhaps was a little bit of a scrag on the way down by Danny Frawley.
Kicked by Peter Mann down towards the pocket. Good body work. Excellent body work by Wakeland to get rid of his opponent. A cross in front of goal to Bardsley. Saints going towards the outer side, the sunny side here. Oh, kick the sunny side up. That's an illegal spoil from behind. And the free kick to go to Joel Smith.
Umpire having a few words to kick it too.
Well, rightfully so. I think, yeah, that was certainly out of line there. Joel Smith has definitely had the better of Dale Kicken in these opening moments. He's picked up a couple of marks and has been very good.
Kick up towards centre wing. Marking contest out there, and the ball taken over the line by Glenn Coghlan. As Drew said, was terrific last week. So throw in the true centre wing position. The Saints yet to score. Wolf and Vidovic. Wolf out the back. Fremantle again go forward, kick it up towards Waters. Burke had him. Winmar, hand pass. Not a great one. Frawley, good enough to make something out of nothing almost. Harvey underneath it. Wolf comes at him. Now Jones. Down towards half forward. No mark taken down there. Could have almost been a free kick for a high tackle on Georgiou. It was. And Georgiou will take the free kick at centre half back. Saints finding it hard to get past against David Muir there for the high tackle. Still only a youngster, John Georgiou. To centre wing again. Jones over the top. Miller missed it. Vidovic over the top. Keogh. Terrific bump on Hannah last week. Saw Milhouder. Remember that for a while. And it's going to be a ball up at midfield.
Yeah, and he hasn't started the same today. And you'd reckon if you're going to win the game, start it the same way. Put the physical pressure on and man up. And I think Fremantle is starting to find some spaces.
McManus from Norrish. Pretty quick, McManus. Lovely ball. Terrific inside 50. No, he didn't. He went for the short pass instead. The umpire says a throw. So maybe the long kick, which is what I expected him to do, could have been the option there, Terry, but the end result is a free kick to Spud.
Yeah, I think the game needs to be broken up just a moment, just starting to look a little bit like circuit work.
Kick by Devonport up towards half forward, off the hands to Ozzie Jones. On the lead is Loewe. And that's the best forward play by the Saints today. Jones has gone past to get it back from Loewe, but Loewe will kick from about 49 metres. Well done by Ozzie Jones, an 18-year-old.
Isn't that beautiful use of the ball? The space was there for Stuart Loewe to lead into, and Austin Jones didn't let him down right at eye level.
So it's probably a shame that Loewe knocked the ball over the top to Jones as he ran past, because this will test him.
You mentioned Keogh, Terry. He's just been replaced by Tony Brown.
So now Smith, Jones and Brown all on the ground together for the Saints. And here's Stuart Loewe from 49, 48 metres. That is perfect. I'll take it back. And that's an example of how Stewie Lowe's kicking has improved this year. Great kick.
He certainly has. He's been a regular goal kicker, and that's 25 for the season now, and that's a pretty good average for a man who was just deemed to be a replacement for Tony Lockett. But well fed there from Austin Jones, as we have Burton now on into the ruck and Wolf off.
St Kilda's first score a goal to Stewie Loewe. Vidovic, the Spider, not at the ground for the first time today. Applies a tackle. Ball jarred free in it. Umpire had elected to, well, he blew the whistle. The advantage obviously paid. Allen's kick down towards half forward. The hand pass comes out to Miller. Miller has a shot at goal. Goal umpire doesn't move. He's kicked it. Great goal. I think it came from Peter Mann, the hand pass. 2-1 to 1 goal. And a real true rover, you'd call him, I think, Terry, wouldn't you?
Yeah, he's really bobs around that forward pocket. He's kicked now 11 goals. And last week's game, when he came on against the Bears, the longer the game went, the better Peter Miller got. And this one, he was able to quickly step round onto his right foot. I think the Frawley and Mann duel has been a very good one to date. Danny Frawley's been quite tight, being able to put the pressure on Peter Mann, but Mann then able to feed the smaller player quite effectively.
Knockers 2-1 to a goal, and the Quinella on numbers 50 and 49, their first two goal scorers. Here's Waters out of the middle, up towards half forward. Miller goes to ground. Mann with a bit of space. Has plenty of time, Peter Mann. Up to full forward. Here's Groom. Gets the ball to the ground. Georgiou overruns it. Muir in there, applying the tackle. And Hutton, the helmeted one. The umpire will ball it up about 25 metres from goal.
You'd be disappointed with young John Georgiou there, right in the deep in defence. He should have put his body in to pick the ball up rather than just running on past it with his legs.
Chance for the Dockers. Groom clean possession, but kicked back into the pack. Muir. Hand pass through by Hutton. Hurried snap by Groom. A goal. Well, now the trifecta is 50, 49 and 35.
Unless we're bringing it down a little bit, the numbers are coming. But the way in which Fremantle has started has been very good. Stan Ells will be disappointed. You had Rod Keogh out there, perhaps looking to reproduce the start that he gave his side last week with physical aggression. It hasn't eventuated, and now is the time for the St Kilda players to really stand up and be counted. This game is right in the balance.
I take it Drew didn't get the first goal.
No.
Vidovic and the Spider. Scotty Waters tackled by Harvey. Punch on by Burton. Clears the line at the 50. Georgiou. Awkward left foot up towards centre wing. Delaney runs onto it well. Tackled down there by Zilla. And it's over the boundary line. Right next to the interchange gates on centre wing. Saints looking for something to happen on their forward line. The Dockers, many more options at the moment. Burton having a terrific season. Can't understand how he hasn't played every match. Winmar, until I've seen him, he's been terrific. Winmar again, tap onto Burke, fumble. Oh, gee. When those things happen, you sort of almost think it's not going to be your day. Waters comes out with the football, and the umpire will bounce it.
Yeah, Pete, Burton was dropped for the game at Collingwood and started this game on the bench, which is a bit of a surprise.
And a bit of a wrap-up for young Wolf, though. I think he's been very good in there.
Well, I think Burton's been absolutely sensational. Another B gets it, that's Burke. Beats Ben Allen over the line. He's been terrific, had a great year. Fremantle by 13 points, and we're past the halfway mark of the first quarter. As Drew said, no advantage in the win. Nathan Burke barking instructions. Throw in again next to the interchange gates on the wing. Burton looking for front position, got one high. Well, no, that's not possible. Georgiou goes down. Muir's there overseeing the situation, and the umpire will bounce it.
I think Jared Neesham might have had Wolf on at the start of Collingwood for a bit of physical stuff on Monkhorst and for whatever might eventuate here today. But there hasn't been much from the Saints. It's not the same team which tore their flesh off Carlton last week.
Some interesting stuff going on just off the ball there as the cameras catch it. Ben Allen being very closely attended to by Dean Anderson and was thrown out of that contest, so to speak.
Boundary throw in at centre wing. How did Norrish get that one out? Pass up towards half forward. Frawley goes to ground. That wasn't the way to play Mann. Mann, well done. Kicked by Peter Mann. Hoists it very high. Groom with the gloves. Hutton with the helmet. Here's John Hutton. 40 metres out. Concedes some ground. Goes outside the 50 to kick it. Kick it, concedes some more ground. Played the ball and lost 50 metres. Tackle by Coughlin. Ball, say the crowd. The umpire comes in and will ball it up. Well, they started about 40 metres out. Now they're about 90 metres out.
Well, there certainly wasn't a forward pass there, was there?
Nope.
Good pressure for St Kilda, particularly Robert Harvey, and just being able to squeeze him at every opportunity.
Burton got his hand to that. Down to Miller. The ball up inside the 50. Well done by Nathan Burke. Magnificent player. 24 kicks last week against Carlton. They were badly beaten, but Burke held his head high. And Devonport also played well. Kick by Devonport towards centre wing. Vidovic, spoiled by Burton. And the height of Spider Burton makes everything no contest.
I want to see you interviewing one day.
No thanks.
But it's an incredible advantage that he does bring into the side, particularly when you consider how mobile he is for a man that size. His marking and his ground level work, quite exceptional.
Vidovic, Burton, won by the St Kilda player. Trapped by Ridley. Up towards half forward. Marking contest down there. Muir almost some tunnel ball. Dockers still with a clean possession. That's holding the ball, says the crowd, and the umpire agrees. Free kick to Harvey, and when he tackles you, a bit like Tony Liberatore, you don't move. Bardsley. Miller stands the mark. He plays on directly. Kicks to half forward. Saints needing something to happen. Winmar fumbles unaccountably. The Spider. Back to McManus. One of the fastest in the side, and maybe even the cop. Hutton and Shanahan. Jamie Shanahan doesn't give too much away either. Belted forward by Hutton.
Great.
And Norrish outside 50. Still he goes. Long kick. And one behind, is it? Yes, it is.
See the way Miller was able to delay the handball then, waiting for the right option. Signs are looking bad for the Saints, I reckon.
Yeah, I think Peter Mann, who has now moved, he started the game in the forward pocket, and that's a good position for Danny Frawley. Now that he's out at centre half-back, I think Stanell should look to perhaps swap him over with Wakeland.
Here's Darryl Wakeland, who played in the Port Adelaide Premiership side last year while he's Shane was playing with the Saints. Terrific mark by Everitt. The Trinidadian haircut. Look at the replay of this mark. What a leap. Up at centre wing now. Comes to Peckett. Hand pass to Anderson. Back to Peckett. He thumps it to Loewe at full forward. Chisholm works into the space and takes the mark. Scott Chisholm. Dhurrkay's gone off the ground for Freo. He's 3 goals behind last week. By the stage last week, he'd won the game. Burrows just behind the centre circle. Out wide he goes. Wills bounces towards the 50. Thumps it long. Muir can't quite take the mark. It's still there for the Dockers. Wakeland gets the hand pass to Georgiou. Now Harvey. And Robert Harvey starting to motor.
They need a few more Harveys, the Saints. Harvey right on the boundary line. Groom in front. Punch away by Jones. Ball clears the pack. Wills, who's just come onto the ground. Out on the full.
Isn't this a great leap by Peter Everitt to come straight off the bench and immediately get involved in the play like that? That'll certainly give him a lift.
As I said, a feed to the Saints because of the out of bounds on the full. Came off a player's boot. Burton in front with the gloves. Everitt punches. Waters. McManus. Ridley goes in to give him a bit of assistance. Applies a pretty good tackle. Now Devonport takes the hand pass at midfield. Down to Stewie, low territory. Can't quite take it. McManus. Winmar. Has to get over it. Low. Gets bustled out of it. And the Dockers will run it out.
Nicky might have been a bit unlucky not to get a free then.
Ben Allen. Kicks up towards midfield. Burton, too tall with the gloves over Everitt. Couldn't take it. Sirakoski. Against Sira. And the free kick going to the Dockers. Taken by Scotty Waters at half-back.
Oh, look at the space out here. Mildenhall. He reminds me of Gary Newon, champion cyclist. Plenty of similarities in build and looks, I reckon. In he goes. Burton a long kick. Straight to the defence. And the mark taken by Wakeland. Darryl Wakeland playing his 9th AFL game. A 50-metre penalty.
And rightfully so. There was no need for Chris Groom to drop his knees into the back of Darryl Wakeland as he did. Most undisciplined play there. As we see here, the mark clearly taken down, and then thank you very much.
Not much of a 50-metre penalty. Chisholm takes the mark for the Dockers. Mann has been very prominent and is giving Danny Frawley a tough time. North Melbourne very disappointed to lose Peter Mann back to his home state at the end of last year. Had a great year with North. Kicked by Mann. Burton can't take the mark. Front position. Shanahan. It comes to Peckett. Out of the back pocket he goes towards centre wing. Sirakoski. Did he mark it? Play on, said the umpire. Waters over the top. Scott Waters has got it and was legged and will take the free kick.
Well, there didn't appear to be a mark. It seemed to bounce out. We'll look at it again. Yes, definitely bounced out. No mark. Correct decision by the umpire. And a free kick to the Dockers. Waters to half forward. Frawley, his opposite number 2, takes the mark. 233 games and captain since 1987, which is a club record down at Moorabbin. Winmar almost. Delaney Snares it well in front of Ziver. Winmar gives chase. Kick inside 50. Hutton in front. Over the top, Shanahan, one of the meanest of them all. And it's out of bounds, about 35 metres from goal.
St Kilda just struggling to get the ball through their half-forward line at the moment. I think the pressure the Dockers are putting on into their forward line, the defence of St Kilda is quite sound, but they have this inability at the moment to get through half-forward.
Just over a minute to go in the first quarter. Everitt taps down Norrish. Lovely Burke. Finds space. Kicks it goal, but it's smothered. And it ricochets out of bounds in front of Muir for another throw-in. Gee, did that well, Norrish. Moved superbly, dodged three and kicked it. Was only just touched, and the end result was a throw-in some 20 metres closer to goal. Mann at the back. Everitt palms it down, looking for Frawley. Burke's there. He'll go for the boundary line. The educated little punch just ahead of himself to clear the line for another throw-in, so it's back where it started. About 50 seconds before the quarter-time siren.
It's a pity that Peckett's picked up Wills, otherwise it might have been Burke and Wills.
You were waiting for that. Waters over the top. Peckett. Shanahan farms it out well. Harvey, the Saints' best in the first quarter, onto Wakeland.
And Wakeland towards the outer side. Smith, number 4, takes the mark just behind centre wing. 20 plays 6. The Dockers in charge. Last 30 seconds of the first quarter. Kicked by Joel Smith, just 20 years old. Burton takes the mark. Matthew Burton into Chisholm. Scott Chisholm going the bounce. Carves them up. Long kick inside the 50. Waters gets underneath the ball. It bounces through to Wakeland, who's been all right in defence. Away to Peckett. Kicked by Peckett towards the outer wing. Jones is there with Sirakoski. Sirakoski ducked. Umpire makes no decision at all. The hand pass comes from Ridley. Back to Delaney. And there's the siren. And Fremantle have dominated this first quarter. They've had 5 scoring shots to 1. There's no wind conditions at all. And St Kilda not the same side who beat the top side last week. It's Fremantle 3-2-20. St Kilda 1 goal.
So the second quarter begins with the difference 14 points. 1 goal to 3-2 in favour of the Dockers. 20 plays 6. In absolutely ideal conditions. Burke confronted by Waters and Mildenhall, and the umpire will bounce it again. Umpires this afternoon: Howard, McCauley and Nash. Mark Nash, I think, is the one at the moment out there officiating. Burton taps down, starting this quarter. We noticed that he came on halfway through the first one. Winmar went without it. A little give out there. Not sufficient by Madigan to get it to a teammate. And there's going to be another bounce. So we haven't cleared the centre square yet. Burton with Everitt. Everitt taking that sensational mark in the first quarter. Waters, lovely evasion onto the skipper. Oh, kicked into his own man out there, and Madigan, former Hawthorn premiership player. Now a chance for the Saints. Loewe kicked their only goal. In fact, their only score in the first quarter, Stewie Loewe. David Howard.
A good piece of work out of that contest. The ball was well held in there. Both players from both sides are working hard to gain possession, but quickly came out Dhurrkay, and with only half a step, basically, he knocked it into the forward line, giving the advantage to Stewart Loewe, who was well positioned in front.
So Stewart Loewe, when Peter Hutton was down at Moorabbin, worked a lot on his kicking, and we've seen the benefits of it, not only in the first quarter when he slotted that one through from 50, but in plenty of other games last season and earlier this year as well. Having given him a rap, he doesn't let me down. Loewe kicks his and St Kilda's second.
Well, Stan Alves would have really ensured that his players came out and got the first score on the board, because they needed that to pull the Dockers in after the first quarter. Everitt's quick hands to Keogh and an equally quick kick into the forward line gave it. Stewart Loewe at full forward has been very good for St Kilda. The concern that it creates, though, is at centre half forward, where they haven't been as good.
Back in the middle, and a much needed goal by the Saints. And Keogh feeds Burke. Round the corner he goes to Winmar. McManus on him. Winmar, great picker. In trouble from Jones. Anthony Jones. Winmar almost kicked it while lying on his back. There's Burton doing the Rovers roll. 6'10.5", not a bad effort. And the umpire comes in and will ball it up.
He'd be taller than Paul Cavalry if he was just on his knees.
Yeah. Sierakowski. Dad Brian will be watching the game, no doubt, in Perth this afternoon. Tied up with the West Coast Eagles, a former Saint himself. Kicked by Waters, up towards centre wing. Wills, caught from behind by Peckett. Oh, say the crowd, but Peckett runs the ball over. And we'll have a throw-in.
Hasn't really been able to settle into the side. Andrew Wills, as well as one of the league experienced players that the Dockers brought in, looking for more at this stage.
Everitt over the back, round the corner goes Norrish. The ball bounces up towards the 50. There's Mann with Frawley again. Hooked in by Mildenhall, but the Saints lose control of it. Muir. Bardsley. A high ball just over the centre circle. Zilla, number 19 for St Kilda, hurriedly onto the right boot. Now they're a chance. In the bright sunshine, charging hard at it, Kickett. At his 5th league club, Dale Kickett. Well played, a perfect kick towards the outer side, and the mark taken by Miller in front of his face. Miller,
one of the goal kickers for the Dockers in the first quarter. Miller's kick towards centre half forward. Nice little bit of a nudge out there by Mann. Umpire lets it go, much to the annoyance of the St Kilda crowd, baying for blood. Now Jones, with pace, bounced to suit him, gets a boot to ball pretty quickly. Loewe couldn't quite handle it. Kick it again, measures the hand pass, the short to the long, back to the short, kick it from Burton. Devonport, good tackle. Still Devonport. Kick away by Bardsley, I think it was.
It's a free kick being given to Stewart Loewe. Chisholm interfered with him as he approached the mark.
Too far out to score from Stewie Loewe. 55 metres he'll kick from. It's pretty close to the man on the mark. Low trajectory drop punt. Everitt couldn't quite complete it. Winmar 3 metres out, kicks the goal. The difference back to 2 points. Everitt took a screamer in the first quarter. That would have been equally as good. But Winmar, a superb rover's job to capitalise.
And wasn't that a great play by Peter Everitt to really put his head down and run and make that goal square? He gave the option there for Stewart Loewe. Wasn't able to capitalise it. Winmar well cleaned up.
The Saints with the only 2 goals of the second quarter, and they've drawn to within 2 points. Burton up early and very high. Waters' little hand pass. Through goes Zilla. Here's Muir. Feeds the hand pass, but it's intercepted by Keogh. He's dragged to ground. Anderson did such a good stopping job last week on Bradley. Anderson again, up towards half forward. Terrific mark taken by Sierakowski. The Saints looking better now. Harvey to Loewe. No mark. Yes, paid it. He paid it. He's come up holding his knee, Stewie Loewe.
Would have been a goal, actually. Austin Jones kicked it off the ground, but umpire stopped play.
Well, he's gone down to the knee in which he's had the laceration, which he picked up 2 weeks ago up at the Gabba. That certainly would hurt going down heavily onto it. But some very good play again out of the midfield there from St Kilda. Once they're able to break clear like that, and Stewart Loewe with the space in front of himself, they certainly do look much more dangerous.
If you've got poison on the knee, you don't need this hard landing. Right on the point of the right knee. Now Stewie Loewe has kicked 2 of St Kilda's 3 goals. The Saints trail by 2 points. And Loewe kicking from about 35 metres should put the Saints in front. And has. The Saints 3 goals to nothing in this quarter.
And wasn't that great play there? Sierakowski in it now at centre half forward, and that was an area in which St Kilda looked a little bit fragile, but very good mark being in front, and then the linking play from Robert Harvey. He's He's the man who can really instigate a victory here for St Kilda with the run through the centre of the ground.
Stewie Loewe in fine form. The Saints now leading by 4 points early in the second quarter. Burke making the play. Smith, excellently done to get Burke the ball. Made certainly something out of nothing there. Trying to crash his way through Ben Allen and also Muir. Wolf's in there. Jones comes in. Norrish likewise. And on the edge of the square, it's going to be a bounce. Well, the Saints certainly looking much better at the start of the second quarter. Coglan warming up on the boundary line to come back on. Over the top, Wolf. Chance for Muir. Waters. Long hand pass. Norrish has been good. Down the wing he goes. 2 bounces. Anderson nearly. He'll have another one or a kick. Low trajectory drop punt. Not certainly worthy of the earlier effort. Missed everything and out of bounds in front of Shanahan. It will be a throw in the left forward pocket with the Dockers yet to score in the second quarter and trailing by 4 points.
Lowe's come off with that injured knee and Coglan back on.
Gee, well, that's a low blow, you might say.
We would hope it only to be redressed.
Everitt. Bardsley on the boundary line, which is too close. And it will be another throw in. The Saints gaining only a couple of metres. Let's get out to Russell Morris.
Yeah, Peter, Stewie Lowe's only just come up to get his knee retaped, so I'm sure he's going to go straight back on. So after his sensational start to this second quarter.
Yes, he's there, certainly the key forward. Wills played in 2 grand final sides for Geelong. Snaps at goal. Looks pretty good. He's got it. So the Dockers hit back and take the lead again. 4-2 to 4 goals.
A very important goal there for the Dockers. St Kilda out of the blocks at the start of the second quarter with 3 goals. But it's Wills here who is the opportunist half-forward flanker in a very hard position to play, particularly in a fledgling club as the Dockers are. And after his 59 games at Geelong, to be able to come back in, pick up this goal, now 12 for the season, an important player doing well.
Another change in the lead with the Dockers in front. Wolf palms the ball down to Waters, but he's lost control of it to Burke. He's kicked towards the outer side. A race on here. Jones and Chisholm. And Chisholm has kicked the ball out of bounds on the full. Ozzie Jones putting on the pressure. Dhurrkay back on the ground for Mildenhall.
What a great matchup those two. Two very exciting players.
Here's Winmar and McManus sees him out. Yes, 2 youngsters. Ozzie Jones, he looks too young to be playing league football, but hasn't he stepped up? He's played every game, not only in the Ansett Cup, but in the Premiership season. Sirakoski and Wolf to do battle for the boundary throw-in. It comes to Chisholm. Bouncing at half-forward. Dhurrkay just back on the ground. He was interchanged in the first quarter. Spud Frawley sprints back for this. Mann gets there and makes it a contest. Oh, well played, Georgiou. He's down by Dhurrkay and holding it. Made no attempt to get it out. John Georgiou and the free kick to Gary Dhurrkay. 26-24. The Dockers in front. Midway through the second quarter. Short pass into Wolf. Still in the centre square. Now he thumps it long. Hutton gets to the back of him. Wills, who kicked the last one. Can he keep it in? He does pretty well. Kick by Wills. Bounces. I think it's a goal. Unbelievable.
Incredible goal. He's really answered the challenge here, being able to come on and take these 2 goals. But that was a tremendous piece of play. Peckett forcing him to the boundary line, but Wills just with that little bit of turn of pace there, being able to step around and on the left foot, if you don't mind, slotting it through.
Russell Morris, any news on Stewie Loewe?
Yes, Peter, I just went and had a look, and it looks like that his knee's opened up again, so he's gone back into the rooms. It looks like he may have to go get his knee re-stitched, so it might take him a bit longer than as expected.
Wolf in short sleeves this term, so a Wolf in sheep's clothing. He started in the long ones. Free kick to the Dockers to be taken by Mann, and here it is in replay. A little bit of a, well, not really too much in it. Peter Mann with the free kick. No breeze, as Terry mentioned. Might be just a tad too far out for a drop punt. That proves to be the case. Everitt in front. At the back, Wakeland. Burke applies a tackle. Waters. Still he goes, Waters. Dhurrkay threaded them from everywhere last week. Oh, don't tell me he's kicked that one from the boundary. 6-2, the Dockers literally in a purple patch. 6-2 to 4 goals.
Been very, very good in here. Then the Dockers now are getting numbers to the ball. At every contest, they've got an option which they can spin it to. And you would have just seen on the screen there, the ability to be able to put the block on for the ball carrier. Dhurrkay was the benefactor of that block there and didn't let his team down.
Well, the Saints kicked the first 3 goals of the quarter, but the Dockers have answered with the next 3. Keogh out of the middle. It's taken by Allen, who's been pretty quiet today. That's just his 5th possession. Shanahan drops the mark and goes to Bardsley, who kicks across the ground and finds out of bounds in the back pocket. I tell you, he'd be pretty pleased about Stewie Loewe going off the ground. It'd be Burrows, who was dropped, finished up having to play at full back on Stewie Loewe and had 3 goals kicked on him. Now he's having a rest with Coghlan. Mann and Everitt. Waters gets it to Peter Mann. Left footer from 50 metres. Very high. 15 metres short. Hutton from behind with the climb. Can't mark. Another helmeted man. Nathan Burke. Kick over half back. Knocked forward by Delaney. Good hands by Sirakoski. Back to Zilla. Kick by Zilla to half forward. Winmar the only chance. Fine mark over the top by Ridley.
Showed a bit of judgment, didn't he, Todd Ridley? Played in the night premiership side with Essendon. Clinton Wolf started in preference to Burrows in the opening quarter. In the ruck, Burrows came on halfway through. Frawley and Mann. Neither can take it. Bardsley. Back to centre wing. Jones. Right on the boundary line. Traps it nicely. Hutton again this time. No, can't take the mark. Dhurrkay. Was he missed? On behind. Gary Dhurrkay's kicked 1 goal, 2 out of Fremantle's total of 6-3, and the Saints 4 goals. Both sides kicking 3 in this quarter. The Saints the first 3 and the Dockers the next 3. And we're just on the halfway mark of the term. Justin Peckett, runner-up in the best and fairest last year at Moorabbin. Wakelin and Wills. Now a chance for the Saints to go forward. Harvey, the best player in the first quarter. This guy's not doing a bad job either. Todd Ridley, marking power. He's second to none. Groom. Miller in front of Jones. It's wide of the centre square. Mann again, Frawley with him. This time Georgiou gets the better of Dhurrkay. Kicks out to Austin Jones, and here goes Aussie.
Centering kick to Winmar, who marks on his chest just forward of centre wing. 39-24, Fremantle in front. They're chipping the ball around. Harvey towards the pocket. Anderson takes the mark 45 metres from goal.
That's a good piece of running from Dean Anderson. He's running with Ben Allen for the afternoon, but when they go forward, he's quite prepared to be aggressive.
Anderson improves the angle just a little bit. Won't quite make the distance. Off hands to Devonport, kick smothered, and the ball was out with Ben Allen, and we'll have a throw in alongside the behind post. Well, Burrows has a new opponent. Coghlan's gone off the ground, but it hasn't been Stewie Loewe who's come back on. Vidovic has come back on. So Stewie Loewe still off the ground for the Saints, and he's kicked 3 of their 4 goals. So the longer he's off, the worse their chances are. Clean possession, Everitt. Kick it. He kicked that backwards. Comes to Burrows. Spiral torpedo out of defence. Not a bad mark by Muir over the top. Saints fans claimed that their man was in front and took the mark, but I reckon it was Muir.
A pretty clear possession there to Muir.
David Muir's kick up towards centre wing. Peckett in front. Harvey over the top. Keogh taken high by Muir. Play on. Past Wills. Low drop punt in towards full forward. Jones loses out this time to Chisholm, and look at the speed on this guy. Good hand pass to another speedster in McManus. Almost taken high. Speaking of speedsters, this guy probably outrun them all. Delaney former bomber. No mark taken down there by Madigan, Hawthorn premiership player. Still he goes. Shanahan at the back, tried to spoil. As I said in the first quarter, one of the meanest fullbacks you'll ever find. Not too many options open for him, and his clearing kick just a little bit too far for Neil Mildenhall to gather, and it will be a throw-in right on 50. Left half forward flank for Fremantle.
Jamie Shanahan very good in defence. He's the one who rallies the team, and last week just the 8 kicks, but was always in control.
Top full back, very underrated, I believe. Norrish had a good first quarter. Hutton in front with Shanahan. Still Hutton. Mildenhall comes in to give him some assistance. And the umpire has decided on a bounce. Only 25 metres out from the Fremantle goal. Would have been a free kick there, looking at it in replay. To Hutton, he was taken high. That's history. Opportunity for Madigan. And he's got it, has he? No, one behind. By Greg Madigan. His first score of the afternoon. And Fremantle 6-4, St Kilda 4 goals. And the difference is 16 points.
Very good effort there from Madigan, for a man his size, to be able to control the ball at ground level and create an opportunity out of virtually nothing.
Peckett, kick in for the Saints. Elects to go to the outer side to Vidovic. Wolf is there with him. The Wolfman thumps down to the front. Shanahan busts the tackle. Gets the ball up short of centre wing. Delaney is there. Whistle's gone. There's something going on behind the players. Is it a relayed free? Might be a St Kilda free kick with Shanahan lying prostrate on the ground. And it's going to Zilla up in between half back and wing. Zilla, who's come over from Adelaide.
I think it was Keogh on the ground.
Now, here's Jones. The kick by Aussie towards the 50. On the chest of Everitt, inside 50.
Sensational use of the ball. That's twice now. He gave, Austin Jones gave Stewart Loewe 1 in the first quarter, and now he's given Peter Everitt his opportunity. Great use of the ball.
Jones, 8 possessions. Everitt already with the mark of the day. And now going for his first goal of the day. Left footer from 48 metres. Good effort. Well, a real game here at Waverley. 40-30. Sounds like a tennis score. But at the moment, the Dockers in front. But the Saints coming back.
And Peter Everitt has been the spark since coming off the bench. Had to sit for the entire afternoon last week against Carlton here at Waverley. Didn't get onto the ground at all. Now he's been given his opportunity and he's certainly making the most of it.
Well, he has played at full forward before with good effect. Looks like Telly Savaras, more than Telly Savaras does himself. Burke from the Wolfman. Ridley, Delaney and Zilla. Through his outstretched arms, Waters trips over at the crucial moment. Almost has the ball pinned underneath him. Crowd looking for a free kick. Ball shuffled at the back of the pack to Delaney. Some good shepherding by Madigan enables him to get his kick. He kicks to half forward. Dhurrkay. Can't give this guy too much latitude. He'll catch it a bit. Bad kick though, and chipping in as Wakeland. Brother played in the reserves this afternoon. Sierakowski couldn't quite complete the mark. Delaney across his body. Oh, great mark to Allen in front of Anderson. Both former Hawks. Ben Allen from right half forward. Captain's kick. Oh, great mark to Mann. Superb use of the body. Judged at the best. And Peter Mann, you would almost say Terry from point blank range.
It is doing such a fine job there. Once he's been able to claim the front position, Danny Frawley, lacking a couple of centimetres in height comparison to Peter Mann, Danny was always going to have his hands full.
So Peter Mann for his first score of the day to increase the Dockers' lead from 10 points. He makes it 16. Mann's first goal, the Dockers' 7th, 7-4 to 5 goals.
And what a marking option Peter Mann presents for the Fremantle Dogs at centre-half forward. He's only 66 marks, a couple this afternoon, so 68 marks for the season, sitting behind Wayne Carey and only a couple of others. He's certainly a dominant feature within that.
Ball back with the umpire in the middle, but Stewie Loewe still off the ground. Russell Morris?
Yes, Drew. It doesn't look like he's coming back on. I think that knee's that bad that they can't do much about it, and so I think they're not going to risk it, so he's not coming back on the ground. Ruled out.
Oh, that is a cruel blow to the Saints. He kicked 3 out of their 4 at the time when he went to ground and left the ground. Jones gets the ball back and takes it back from Zilla. Concedes some more ground to Keogh. Kick by Keogh towards the 50. Coughlin's back on. Oh, what a mark by Ridley! Fantastic by Todd Ridley into McManus. It's 46-30. The Dockers leading by 16 points. Their first visit to Waverley. He's run too far, McManus. He's too busy signalling up the ground what he wanted teammates to do. Look at Ridley over the top of Coughlin. He went up early and got the straddle on him. Now Nicky Winmar, who's kicked 1, and from this free kick after McManus ran too far, Winmar, if he unloaded with his very best, could goal here. 55 metres out. The Saints need it. Drop punt. Looks all right. A centimetre short. Is that a mark? It is. Vidovic.
The height of Everitt and Vidovic there. Either one of them were the ones to take the mark. Wolf being bustled out of it there, was lacking some perhaps strength and experience. Lazar Vidovic from point blank range. Well,
it's unbelievable. Stewie Loewe is off the ground, and look at the height down there with Coughlin, Everitt and Vidovic. It's almost unfair. Vidovic right on the edge of the square. Goal. Points the margin. Fremantle haven't got anything like that height to match them in their defensive area, but they might be able to outrun them.
Yes, and that's where St Kilda need to take them on now, is to continually get their bigger players down into that forward line and stretch the size of Burrows, Ridley. They're not as tall enough to be able to counter that sort of an armoury.
So the Saints hanging in the second quarter. The difference back to 10 points, 6 goals to 7-4. 11 shots to 6 in favour of Fremantle. Wolf and Vidovic. Winmar after the ball cleared the pack. Little 9-iron chip shot down to half forward. Oh, excellent mark brought in by Tony Brown. A real slips catch, that one.
This bloke doesn't lose much in comparison with Smith and Jones.
All we need is Wesson out there. Not much of him, Tony Brown. It's more your height, Drew. 45 metres out. Kicks it magnificently for a goal. So the Saints come back to within 4 points. Tony Brown kicking his first.
And haven't they rallied here with the absence of Stewart Loewe? Everyone else seems now to have stepped up a gear. And young Tony Brown coming off the bench, spent the majority of last week's game there, came on during the second quarter and influenced the game for the better. He has again done just that.
Wolf off and Broom back on.
Well, a magnificently seesawing game here at Waverley, and we're back to 4 points the margin after the Saints have kicked the last couple. Ridley's kick up towards half forward. Bounce favours Bardsley. His kick back towards centre wing. Ridley again. Waters. McManus. Switching direction. Fremantle style. Chisholm takes the mark. Chisholm and Jones, one of the highlight matchups on the ground. Kick by Chisholm is perfect on the chest of Gary Newborn. No, Mildenhall. The kick to the 50. Hutton. Good mark. John Hutton resurrected his football career after appearing to be lost playing on the Gold Coast last year. Ridley and Winmar having a bit of a push and shove. John Hutton, he's kicked some from here. He can kick the ball a country kilometre. Not quite this time. High leap by Burke, but the punch away out of bounds in the forward pocket. And we're in the last 2 minutes of the first half. Fremantle 46 and Kilda 42.
Gary Nevon wouldn't be here today, Drew. He'll be waiting for tomorrow to see the Hawks play.
Yeah.
So boundary throw in, 10 metres from the behind post. Vidovic and Groom. Wills, well, he could kick them from here. Unselfishly goes out wide. And the umpires have a holding decision. Going St Kilda's way. The recipient of the free kick is Anderson. Another Hawthorn Premiership player. At the back is Jones. A little bit of interference there. Kick it. Umpire lets it go. Oh, beautifully done. What a ball. And another one. Stewie goes. Almost ran too far. He did. Ah, gee, that's tough. Tough but correct.
It's all right to be a running side, but you do have to bounce it every now and again.
Make more runs than Steve Warner's team. Frawley. The spud. Kicks the half forward. Away they come again. Tony Brown took that great mark. Winmar can't complete it. Another of the youngsters, Jones, across his body. Did it go the required meterage? It did. Everett's got it. Gee, what a bit of elastic it might have.
Bob Marley can put the Saints in front here.
The Whalers and Dockers. So Peter Everitt, I said he'd played full forward before with good effect. Very close to the boundary line. And the wrong side, therefore, for a left footer. Hit the post. A minor score. Hit by Peter Everitt. 1-1 his tally, and the first blemish on the St Kilda scoreline. 7-1 to 7-4, 3 points the difference.
Kick in to kick it. Oh, he had it spent before he got it, but here he goes. Dale, kick it. He's lost his strides. Kick it to Burke. Floats the ball over the top. Burrows. They do love to run it. At least Burrows is bouncing. 55 metres out. The kick in short. Well, I'm not sure he meant it, but the mark is taken by Groom. No mark paid, and the umpire's going to call for a ball up. And Devonport saying, well, if it was no mark, how come I wasn't holding the ball when I grabbed it?
Good question. Must have been touched off the boot, the only thing I can say. Look, the mark, didn't it?
Yes, it was. No, Robert Harvey, a magnificent chase from behind. His final lunge, I think, did get a hand to the ball off the boot.
Harvey a little bit quieter in the second term, but certainly he was the one that motivated the Saints in the first quarter. But what a game we have. Wills, he was terrific in that term. Started on the bench and came on and kicked 2 miraculous goals. Probably the second was marginally better than the first, but they were both gems. And so the Dockers have certainly entertained this fairly good crowd here. It built up rather late. Nicky Winmar has been in and out of the play. Probably need to get a little bit more from him. But at half-time, it is a real ball game. Only 3 points in it, and the Dockers leading 7-4 to 7-1 against the Saints. So the start of the third quarter here at Waverley, the difference is only 3 points. The good news for St Kilda, Stewie Loewe back onto the ground, but with a heavily bandaged knee. Burke almost went through his knees. I think it would be possible. Umpire's given a free kick to Fremantle. It's going to be taken by Muir. Goes out wide. Man on his own is McManus. No one within a Drew Morford fence of him. Is that right, Drew? Burton again, the spider. Flips it out. Vidovic's there. Everitt moved up from the pocket once the ball was bounced. Might have almost been a free kick. The umpire lets it go. Harvey had a good first quarter. Faded out a little bit in the second, but that's being hypercritical. Winmar, good shepherd. Not a great disposal. Back again to McManus. He gets clobbered after he got rid of the football. Went down like a sack of spuds.
Gee, he covered some ground there, Peter.
He did, right across the ground. I had to look twice to make sure it was him.
Great effort.
So free kick to Burrows. A late inclusion to the side. Burrows up towards the right forward pocket. All clears the pack. Out of the box, Bardsley slips over. Shades of Canberra last week. It's a very slippery Bruce Stadium. That's out of the full against Peter Mann, and the free kick will be taken right in the back pocket. And Drew, unbiased call from you, seeing as though you're wearing a Fremantle cap.
Well, I did actually find a Fremantle fan at the ground. The bloke from Papa Luigi's, a restaurant in Freo, had the cap, gave me the cap. And I did see during half-time, and there's a kid down in front of us. He looks about 4 years old, and he's waving a Dockers flag. Well, that's great. There wouldn't be too many Freo fans here. Anthony Jones undergrounds the hand pass to Delaney. On all fours is Devonport. It spills. Sirakoski through the hands of Burton it goes. Peckett just inside the boundary line to Winmar. He gave away a free kick a moment ago for a late tackle on McManus. Nicky Winmar, a proud Fremantle boy, represented South Fremantle. Passes up short. Anderson, who's done the stopping job on Ben Allen. Allen's had just 6 possessions in the first half. Amazing. Anderson doing it again like he did last week to Bradley. Off hands to Harvey. Flips the ball up and comes to Norrish. Long kick. Vidovic, centre of the ground. It clean bowls him. Comes to Mann, who's been good. Devonport skirts around. Went the bounce. He's holding the ball, says the umpire. And the free kick goes to Muir. Muir straight up the ground to Hutton. Oh, John Hutton, a good mark. Have a look at the tackle in the middle of the ground. Devonport went for the bounce. It came back to him. And the second time he dropped it like a red-hot spud when tackled. Mann takes the mark.
Very good work from John Hutton there. The way in which he let out, marked the ball so well, got back quickly off the mark and saw Peter Mann just out towards the right of him, and he was able to slot it perfectly where Mann was able to take the mark. That's a very good kick. See, Mann has been able to position himself out on the forward side of the 2 defenders and comfortably took the mark.
Well, Peter Mann's been excellent. Kicked a goal already. This is his 13th disposal and his 2nd goal. And the Dockers extend their lead to 9 points.
And 2 goals is a very good return to this stage from Peter Mann, giving him some 11 for the season, and he is a real focal point for them. That was a perfect setup there with John Hutton. Hutton needs to lead. He's not a tall man for a full forward, so he needs to be continually leading out to 50. Mann dropping back, perfectly set up and very well executed.
2 goals to Wills, 2 to Mann, the leading goal kickers for Fremantle. They extend their lead 52 to 43 here at Waverley after it was 3 points at half-time. Keogh, who's had a stint on the bench in the second term, kicks up towards half-forward. Ooh, going back into the pack there was Kickett. Chisholm overruns it. Too high. David Howard coming into... So who's going to get the free kick? It's going to be Brown, I think. Yes, it is. Took a great mark in the second quarter. Everitt and Chisholm exchanging pleasantries. And an opportunity for a quick reply to the Saints. Tony Brown kicks at goal across the face. Marking contest, none can bring it down. Everett's there, the big fellow tries to get clear. Is hustled over the line, the ball went ahead of him. And there's a free kick to the Dockers.
Seemed to roll down off his thigh more than his lower leg there.
Ridley, watch it again. Wrong position to adjudicate on that one from here. Vidovic and Burton. The spider was too tall. Muir overruns it. Chance for the Saints. Harvey around one, tries to get past Delaney. That was the more difficult option. Burke rows it well, tackled by McManus, ineffective, over the head of Winmar, and the mark is taken by Chisholm, it is. Gee, he and Kickett look alike. They both move like greased lightning. Chisholm inside his own defensive 50-metre line. Burton at the back, too tall. Over the top of Sirakoski. So was Father Brian last week up in Canberra, right on the border of West Coast. Still in some pretty good shape. Kick to right half forward. And good defensive work there by the Saints. Justin Peckett, one of the underrated defenders and a very effective one in their side. 7-3 to 8-4, and the difference is 9 points in favour of Freo.
52 to 43. Vidovic and Burton. Neither ruckman got to it. Here's Robert Harvey. Magnificent gather by Harvey. Into Wakeland. The hand pass not great for Peckett. But he's got a bit of time. He's run down by Dhurrkay. He's going to kick an own goal just about here. And the ball's just gone out of bounds. It just missed the behind post. We'll have a throw-in.
Great piece of play by Dhurrkay there. The continual harassment there onto Pickett put him into all sorts of confusion, and I think he would have preferred to have scored a behind himself rather than out of bounds here where it's dangerous.
Yep, still trouble here for the Saints. Here's Wills. This is his spot out of the pocket on the boundary line, but the ball's out of bounds again. Andrew Wills, 2 magnificent goals in the second quarter from just 4 kicks. Weak winter sunshine here, but a still sunny day in Melbourne. And the ball out of bounds again, but at least St Kilda have worked it from the behind post to about the 45-metre mark. Dockers by 9 points.
It's going to be very tough to assess the fitness of Stewart Loewe here at the moment, as St Kilda are unable again to get it up through their half-forward line.
Wakelin, little hand pass away, the give to Bardsley, effective. Georgiou had just bounced inside the line. Burton overruns it, chance for Keogh. Keogh from right half back, gets on his bike pretty quickly. Pass, kick it, long hand pass. Anderson runs onto it. Oh, good work down there for the Dockers by Scott Chisholm. And he was able to skillfully land it just inside the boundary line. Terrific stuff.
Fortune favoured the Brave there. If it had got past Scotty Chisholm, his side would have been in all sorts of trouble. Very well done, attacking the ball.
Vidovic and Burton. Tap on by Anderson. Waters makes some space out of nothing really. Burke comes at him, missed him. Down he goes, Burke, slipped over. And Waters still goes. Shanahan at the back. Punches clear. Bardsley gives him good support. Along the boundary line he goes with the educated defender's kick. Clears the line on about the third bounce, and it will be thrown in 55 metres from goal. 14 minutes left in the third quarter. A little bit cool down there on the bench. And
3 teenagers, Peter.
Joel Smith, the nearest, did fairly well in the first quarter too. Anderson. Bardsley. Anderson, terrific job on the skipper. He really has cut him down to well, amount of disposals which he'd probably get normally in 1 quarter. Shows his worth. Dockers ball. Peter Mann. He's been terrific. Hutton hasn't missed much. Opportunities have been there. Good tackle. Ball jarred free. Holding the ball, says the umpire. Free kick to be taken by Shanahan. Away he goes. Advantage paid. No real advantage there.
No advantage there.
Muir, Dhurrkay, Hutton, Barks in the pocket.
That advantage will cost them a goal.
Certainly, and the umpires should have the power, and I believe they do have the power to cancel that and say, no, the advantage wasn't there. Let's bring it back and go again, boys. And so the umpire erred on that occasion in that particular scenario.
Well, John Hutton, distance won't be a problem for him, but accuracy, not too much daylight between the posts from the angle he finds himself on. Runs in, and what's he done with that one? Have to wait on the goal umpire. He's got it! Oh, great kick. So it did cost them a goal. 9-4 to 7-1.
Be very disappointing from a St Kilda perspective. They've worked hard here. They win actual free kick, and this is where the advantage was called. Jamie Shanahan just eased that moment while the decision was being made, and the umpire allowed it to go. Fremantle, having the numbers there, were able to take advantage of it, and John Hutton doing what a full forward should do, kicked straight.
Well, Muir was good then. He was caught red hot. The advantage was played, but he went back, got the ball back, and the Dockers finished up with a goal out of it to Hutton. Winmar's kick goes wide and out of bounds, and the Saints at the start of this third quarter in a bit of bother. They trail by 15 points, 9-4 to 7 goals won. McManus takes the kick. In short to Madigan. Another former Hawthorn player, premiership player on the ground today. Kick by Madigan. Past Anthony Jones it goes. Muir in hard for the ball. Keogh caught. Umpire says the ball was held in there just as it spilled free to the Dockers. The umpire will ball it up.
And Stan Ells has made the move at centre half back with Wakelin coming out onto Peter Mann. Danny Frawley back to Burrows.
Oh, Mann has been a very damaging player. Off the ground goes Burke. First back there is Peckett. The hand pass, an awkward one. Jones. He's lost control of it. Dhurrkay. Good run by Waters. Kick by Waters. Not a great kick. It bounces inside the 50 to Hutton. Mann's hand pass blocked by Shanahan. Miller in over the ball. The umpire will ball it up. But St Kilda's defence is under siege at the moment. And in this quarter they are scoreless. And the Dockers have kicked 2 goals to start the third quarter.
It was a good block by Shanahan, Drew. Could have been off and running with that. Peckett grabbed from behind by Dhurrkay. Still comes up with the footy. Bardsley confronted by Wills. Wills kicking those 2 great goals in the second quarter.
And Stan Alves obviously is concerned with his forward line, and he's taken Peter Everitt off, and it was Joel Smith now back onto half forward.
A little bit of mobility perhaps. Anderson from the ruck contest. Muir, oh what a climb. Couldn't bring the ball down. And here he is, the youngster, Joel Smith, as Terry said, just back onto the ground. Oh, kick it! What a steal! Past Brown, now onto Chisholm. Nice ball, gives himself some room and time, and finds Miller.
Gee, they're good at holding onto it until the time's right.
They are. Miller's kick. Well inside 50. Burrows was there, couldn't take the mark. Oh, Norrish, if he can turn, and he can do that. We've seen that today. He's out of bounds, is he? Or just? Gee, that was an interesting call. Umpires paid a free kick anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I didn't think the ball was. I thought he was out of bounds, but... Well, line ball. Half was in, half was out. Harvey's got the kick, that's what matters. Vidovic in front of the Wolfman. Couldn't take it. Muir, good tap on. Dhurrkay, standing start kick. Oh, excellent stuff, Wills. Buy him a drink afterwards, son. Terrific. Andrew Wills, who played in 2 premiership sides, 2 grand final sides, I should say, with Geelong. 2 great goals from snapshots in the second quarter. Up for goal of the day. This one a little bit more regular, from about 47 metres. Same result, he's got his 3rd. So things not looking good for the Saints at the moment. Wills getting his 3rd, and the difference now out to 21 points, 10-4 to 7-1. That's the biggest it's been all day.
And so the challenge really sits with St Kilda now. Fremantle are playing what is deemed to be their style of football so very, very well. They're able to hold onto the ball, pick the right option and deliver it off. I think they've settled into their game now and looking dangerous from here on in.
64 to 43. The Dockers 3 goals to nothing to start this second half. Burke out of the middle. Long kick to the forward line. Madigan overruns. How fit is Stewie Loewe? He hadn't had time to gather. Ridley, Loewe good enough to smother that time. Was that out of bounds on the full? Stewie Loewe thought it might have been, but the umpire's going to throw it in. Loewe went off the ground early in the second quarter after reopening the wound to his knee. We gather it's been re-stitched and he's back to start this third quarter. Sierakowski wins the tap. A bit of a throw by Kickett. You're gone. And this is well within kicking distance for the Saints.
Some great work there, both players. Sierakowski, very, very good in the ruck, being able to get the first use of it, and then the tackle from Winmar. Nicky Winmar has really addressed that aspect of his game, and he's become quite physical over the last couple of years of his career in being a very good tackler.
Marks in the third quarter, 10-2 in favour of Fremantle, but Winmar gets the Saints' first goal of the term. Margin 15 points, and certainly the Saints not out of it yet.
No, Winmar's second goal, and the great part of the goal was that there was some physical football involved in it. And I think that's the component that St Kilda need now to really bring into their game. They were very good in that aspect last week against Carlton and put Carlton off their game. If they can do it here, I think they can find a crack in the Fremantle armoury.
2 goals for Nicky Winmar after that excellent tackle. Vidovic taps down. Ben Allen able to get clear for one of the rare times of the day away from Anderson. The kick slews off the side of the boot, or was it intended that way? The result's a good one. Dhurrkay takes the mark.
That was Allen's first touch for the quarter in 16 minutes.
Certainly expect more from him. Made the most of his kick though. Muir, a little give on to Waters. They nearly fumbled. Across his body, Delaney. Away from Smith. Will he get past Burke? Nearly a throw. Waters. Good block by Delaney. Marking contest at full forward. Miller upset. Dhurrkay should kick this. Snaps. Oh, he's got it, has he? Close. One behind. Gee, from my angle, I thought he'd kicked it. 10-5 to 8-1. So a bit of a let-off there for St Kilda, with Gary Dhurrkay kicking his third behind of the day. 1-3 he has against his name. Justin Peckett, as is the norm for the Saints, does most of the kicking in. Like Leon Cameron at Footscray, the set plays of the coaches rarely departed from in this aspect. Low trajectory drop punt. Doesn't get too much distance. Burrows nearly pinched it initially. Now the Saints are going to come away. Georgiou takes the hand pass at half-back. Kicks out towards the centre wing position. Sirakoski slips over at the crucial moment. It's his opponent down there, Anthony Jones, in. Up towards full forward. Dhurrkay, geez, quick. And he's elusive as well. Oh, pinpoint accuracy with the pass. Great footy. And the mark is taken by Scotty Waters. Great skills, Terry.
He's excellent at ground level. Well, ground level or in the air, Gary Dhurrkay has proven to be a very, very good footballer, and there was no exception to the rule there.
Scotty Waters for his 12th kick. And his first goal. Silence greets that. Have to wait on the goal umpire. One behind. Kick by Waters, his first score of the afternoon. And this is worth a second look.
It is, right in on the boundary line. He knew exactly where he needed to be going. He needed to open up the goal face. Was never in any concern about being able to find a player there, and disregarded attacking the goal.
Kick by Peckett towards the outer side. Frawley. A pretty quiet day, a tough day, Spud. The umpire will ball it up. The amazing thing about Dhurrkay, he's playing just his 4th game. He played the first 2 of the season and then went back to the Waffle. Came back last week against Brisbane. In his last 2 years, he's played in premiership sides for East Fremantle in Perth and Wanderers up in Darwin. This ball in from Muir. Hutton palms it down. Roves his own ball. John Hutton back over his shoulder and just offline. 1-1 to John Hutton. But he certainly hasn't lost the ability to lead quickly and mark in front of his face.
No, he hasn't. As we see Stephen O'Reilly sitting on the bench there, stepped out of the side when he developed migraines earlier this morning, but his absence hasn't been noted by the Dockers, I don't think.
Well, not so far anyway. He was terrific last week. Frawley underneath all that. Now a chance for the Dockers. That's pretty close. Miller. From Burrows. 8-1 to 11-7. So Peter Miller kicking his second, and this is making it difficult for the Saints now. 24 points the difference out to.
There's a big call now upon the Saints, particularly in the centre of the ground. Each time a centre bouncer comes about, and we have the one now following this very good goal from Peter Miller, it gives the side the opportunity to regain some control. St Kilda need to do it now.
So Miller getting his second, and the Saints really need something to happen quickly. Coghlan, a little give. Anderson from half forward, hacks it from mid-air, and great mark taken by Scott Chisholm at centre half back.
In this quarter, Fremantle 4-3 to a goal, so they're dominating in the 3rd term. Muir, run down from behind, good tackle by Smith. Play on, says the umpire. Mildenhall just back on the ground off interchange. Dumps it long to full forward. Miller, the only hope. He's small, can't punch from behind from that height. Look at Peter Mann roving the pack. Mann gathers 20 metres out, hooks it back, and I think he's kicked it. Top goal by Mann.
His third.
A sensational goal that in the aerial work had to be done by Peter Miller and Bardsley for St Kilda. Both very short players, the back pocket and the forward pocket, and the roving done by Peter Mann, being able to knock it out in front of himself, gather it up, and then if you don't mind, on the left foot, slot it through. Very good player across there, and he is providing exactly for Fremantle what St Kilda haven't got, a focal point at centre half forward.
Peter Mann's third goal, and the Dockers' first visit to Waverley. They might come away with the 4 points. Norrish hacks it out of mid-air. Wills again, who's kicked 3. 2 in the second quarter. Around his body again to half forward. No mark taken down there by Mann. Off the ground, Wills kicks to space. It comes into the forward pocket. Will they get another one here, the Dockers? Turning on a threatening bit as Burrows. Oh, slips catch mark taken by Norrish. That was Dunstall-esque. Like a soccer goalie, whatever you like. Terrific mark. This goes to show you don't really need the gloves if you can grab it in like that.
He's done a very good job on Robert Harvey. He's coming up for his 12th kick, Jason Norrish, and the way he's been able to cut down Harvey in the high risk areas, allowing him some possessions in low risk areas, has been very, very good.
Well, they've broken it wide open, the Dockers, in this quarter and in the last 5 minutes. And that's another one, I'd reckon. No, he's missed it. One behind. Well, umpires make it difficult for us. 12-8 to 8-1. Norrish is second behind of the afternoon.
He can certainly coach Gerard Nation. I reckon their correct arena is the Nullarbor Plain, plenty of room. So when they come to the game's biggest venue, it's like their own backyard. Off hands, it comes to Georgiou. Up short of centre wing. Spills to Scott Waters. They're bursting tackles as well. Pinpoint to Miller, who takes the mark 70 metres from goal. Goes towards the outer side. Here's Delaney doubling up from the wing, and he marks inside 50. When you've got your centre-half forward kicking rover type goals and wingmen drifting up having pot shots for goal, you're in heaps of bother, the defence. The kick dropping short of Norrish, but he's good enough to make the spoil. Anderson in front. Farms the ball out to Harvey. Back to Anderson. Wide to Bardsley. The Saints need to finish the term well. They've got under 4 minutes to go. Winmar on centre wing, can't mark. Goes off the ground. Everitt. Still with Peter Everitt. Ridley with him. Oh, well done by Everitt. Stewie Loewe offering the lead. Everitt pumps it long. What about this for a goal? Loewe gets back there. Can't take the mark. He's got it. Snaps. And Stewie's kicked it. Well, we thought he was gone. We thought he was in hospital, but he's back to kick his fourth.
Deserved a goal to Everitt, didn't it?
Oh, sensational play by Peter Everitt. The young man, he works so very well in the air. We've seen him take possibly the mark of the day, and now at ground level, running round onto the left foot, slotting in, quite possibly could have bounced through, but there it was, and big Stewart Loewe there to finish it off.
Stewart Loewe got the goal. The assist certainly with Everitt. Hacked out of the pack by Vidovic. Here he is again. Gives it this time to Harvey. Loewe. Oh, Harvey moved well downfield. The tackle blocked him. Loewe puts his body on the line. Coughlin. Harvey again. Oh, give him some assistance. Ball jars free in the tackle. Everitt picks it up on his correct foot, which is his left. Oh, what a mark! Stewie Loewe, same two combining. And Everitt lifting the Saints, you would say, almost single-handedly. Well, the unfortunate aspect of the whole play is the angle that Loewe finds himself on, which is right on the boundary. And certainly no certainty this, as you'll see. Loewe just questioning where the mark is.
Peter, as you've already pointed out, he has certainly improved his kicking. Peter Hudson was the instigator of the extra work, and Stewart Loewe has continued it on.
Distance obviously not a problem. Should get it. And he has missed. Well, what a Barry Crocker that was. Deserved better. 12-8 to 9-2, and Stewie can't believe it. His first blemish. He's kicked 4 goals, 56 to 80 is the scoreline, and we've got just over 2 minutes left in the third quarter.
Chisholm kicks into the back pocket, where Delaney takes the mark. Well shepherded. In fact, the umpire was going to pay a free kick. Now advantage to Delaney. He's carried it a long way from the back pocket. They'll need a bounce or two. Tony Delaney, almost up to the wing. He's not too sure what to do with it. Floats one to McManus. Well done. Kick by McManus. No great distance, plenty of height. Burrows is there. Comes to the front to Zilla. He was going to get a free kick. Pickett. Kicked by Peckett. Keogh on his own at half forward. It's Bardsley. Bardsley runs to the 50. Could have chipped over the top. Goes long. Low in the goal square. He's got it again. Well, Stewart Loewe has taken 3 marks in 2 minutes. And at one stage, Fremantle led by 31 points. And you thought, I was starting to think, how far the Dockers. But through Everitt and Loewe, the Saints are hitting back. Minute and a half remaining in the third quarter. 80 to 56. Margin is 4 goals. This to make it an 18-point game. Oh no, he's shaved the post with that one. That would have been handy.
How's the luck in football when you look at it from a coaching perspective for Stan Alves? When he lost to Stewart Loewe for that extended period leading up to half-time, it's proved to be quite critical in the final wash-up.
Chisholm to kick it, just effective. Loewe stands the mark, so 2 vital misses by Stewie Loewe. The Saints leading goal kicker today. Oh, he's kicked into the man of the mark. They might make a move of this yet.
That's Everitt again.
They'll get out of it though. Ridley goes to the outer side. He's got McManus who marks in front of Keogh. One of the speedsters in the side. Crowd thought he was off. Umpire says no. And the Wolfman's got it. Right on 50. Delaney. Clock ticking down. Half a minute before 3/4 time. Mann right on the boundary line. Boundary umpire says okay, he's got the mark. 23 points under 4 goals. Devonport, mark or free kick. Devonport right on centre wing. Well, there might not be any time left for the Saints to get a score. They'll have to get it down very quickly. Coghlan has it punched away at the back as Austin Jones. Clever tap on to the advantage of himself, really. McManus carts it out. I know what Peter McKenna would say. Deliberate. Boundary umpire will show it in though. If there's any time left. Vidovic and Wolf. There is the siren for 3/4 time. Certainly a good quarter by the Dockers. They hit a purple patch again midway through that quarter. But Stewie Loewe, what might have been, had he kicked those 2 goals, well, the Saints would certainly be in a much better position than they are now, which is trailing by 23 points. And that pair on the forward line, Terry, almost single-handedly gave them some chance going into the last term.
They did. They were very, very good. Everitt quite prepared to work well around the ground, and his actual jump and smother on Scotty Chisholm in that last piece of play was quite exceptional. So they are important going into the last half. Wolf has worked hard, but Peter Mann has been, if not the best man on the ground at this particular point in time. He's got to be very close to it. He's been very good at centre half forwards. So Jared Neesham now preparing them for the last quarter, a most important push. 23
points at the final change at Waverley. Back after this. The final quarter begins at Waverley with St Kilda trailing by 23 points. The Saints need something to happen quickly. Burton wins the first tap. Gets it down towards Kickett. Draws the player to him. Across to Waters. Back to Jones. Tackled by Burke. Ineffective. And the mark is taken a little bit short of right half forward by Peter Mann. Certainly one of the best on the ground and may finish up indeed BOG. Hutton makes a lead. Kick down towards where Craig Burrows has taken the mark. I think just inside the boundary.
I think he likes it better up that end than the other.
Burrows too far out to score. Oh, gee, but not by much. McManus over the back, clears the pack. Muir tries to drag it in. Holding the ball, says the crowd. Umpire David Howard says, no sirree, it's going to be my ball. And he'll ball it up right next to the behind post. The Dockers can get a goal here as we watch what happened.
Would have been far better for David Muir if he could have forced it over the boundary line. A boundary throw in at least opens the goal face up a little more than this ball up does.
Harvey, tackled by Ben Allen. Norrish makes the play. Burke across his body. Kick it. Oh, should have been a mark. The Saints, though, come away. This is young Tony Brown. Kicks up towards centre wing. Crowd still looking for a free kick. Umpire says no. Everitt gives away the hand pass. Now it comes on to Peckett with a little give. Peckett from right half forward. Better known as a defender. Into Stewart Loewe. It's bouncing. But hustled through for a minor score by Greg Madigan. First score of the final quarter to the Saints to make the difference, 22 points.
80 to 58, Fremantle in charge. The Dockers looking for their first ever win at Waverley. Anthony Jones has been a good halfback flanker. Quentin Leach, the other halfback, was a withdrawal before the game. And Stephen O'Reilly had a migraine a couple of hours before the game and didn't take his place at full-back. Doesn't look as though it's affected them a lot. Devonport's kick inside half-forward. Ball belted off the ground by Jones. It was Madigan. Now it's grabbed by Norrish. Keogh rides the high tackle. Back to Brown. Look out, Devonport, you're in trouble. Hurried kick by him is out of bounds on the full. Madigan will take the free back into play. Craig Devonport, such a superb player last week. 10 possessions today. A little bit down on the wet day last week against the Blues, when the bottom side the Saints beat the top side Carlton. Comes to Burke, front of the pack. McManus for Fremantle. Norrish somehow gets straight through the pack, just waltz through them. Jason Norrish up towards half forward. Hutton, is that a mark? Yes, umpire paid it. Crowd thought it was a half ball.
I thought it was a mark, I must admit. Certainly given them a target, Hutton. Kicks to half forward. Now, the captain, Ben Allen. Snapshot is off target and registers only a behind.
2 kicks since half-time, Ben Allen. He had 27 possessions last week.
Un-Ben Allen-like, isn't it? 58 to 81, but full credit to Anderson, who's done an excellent job on him. 9-4 to 12-9, 17 minutes left in the match. Peckett now back in defence, had a shot at goal. Only minutes back. Kicks to the members stand side. No mark taken with that short kick. Burke, Frawley, dragged around as he kicked and out on the full. Just Muir will take the free kick for Fremantle. Too far out to score. David Muir. Burton in front, can't drag it down. Burke, Harvey, 2 of the real stalwarts of St Kilda, straight to Ridley. Plays on, centering kick from him. One-on-one duel, Ben Allen gets front position and has got the kick. Minor interference.
Pretty hard to figure that one.
They're going right across the ground now. Delaney, Jones, down at half forward, or between wing and right half forward. Kick and a half to goal from there. Burton was the target, has to beat 3 or 4 of them. Winmar does the mopping up work with a spiral punt kick. Oh, look where he's kicked it straight back to Jones. He's on his Pat Malone. Frawley gets hands to it. Winmar again out of bounds on the full, and yes, it will be a Fremantle free kick. It'll be taken down there by McManus.
St Kilda defence under a great degree of pressure at the moment. Fremantle very aggressive in their forward moves. St Kilda unable to get any run out of defence.
Short pass by McManus to Norrish. 17 possessions. 81 plays 58. 23-point lead. It's gettable by the Saints, but they're in the wrong half of the ground. They're being killed for positional play at the moment. Devonport loses it defensively. The hand pass comes back. Waters balks. Winmar's got him. The ball close to the line. McManus, a centering kick, a diving mark, and it's taken by Burrows. And Craig Burrows is only 15 metres out.
When you look at the Dockers' style of play, I mean, the way in which the ball is so quickly spun around, every player is aware that the ball is always alive, and regardless of where the actual plays at any one given point in time, you may be the next person involved. Craig Burrows had front position and was prepared for that eventuality.
Originally named as an emergency, he replaced Stephen O'Reilly in the selected 21. He started in defence on Loewe, now on the forward line, and gets a goal. Burrows' first goal, and that's a pretty big bridge for the Saints to cross now.
It is now, Drew. They don't seem to have the run out of defence that they would require in order to make inroads onto this score line. And a very interesting observation from Russell Morris, I thought, at three-quarter time, where he indicated that the St Kilda enthusiasm seemed to be a little bit artificial and manufactured, whereas the Fremantle one was much more natural, and they have a lot going for them at the moment, Fremantle.
So 29 points the difference now at Waverley. The Dockers, on their first trip to this ground in an AFL Premiership match, looked like coming away with the 4 points. Burton's kick out of the middle, up towards Gary Dhurrkay, marking in front of Peckett. Between wing and right half forward, Dhurrkay, who kicked 3 in the first quarter last week. Hutton a chance, couldn't take the mark. Frawley, a little give. Shanahan gives him good support over the head of Harvey. Bounces okay. Oh, Georgiou, you're gone, son. Good tackle, Dhurrkay. Comes out with a footy. On to Ben Allen. Long kick by the former Hawk. And just getting a fingernail to it down there on the last line of defence is Darryl Wakelin. St Kilda really hit across the centre in the final quarter, except for that rush behind. And the bottom line is Fremantle by 29 points. So not too much happening for the Saints. Good tackle applied by Hutton after the tap came from Burrows. Winmar and Burke. Burke with the kick, shepherded by Winmar. You have Saints running onto it. The bounce, Fickle, Harvey. A little give, Devonport along the boundary line. Kicks up towards the direction of the centre wing. That's as far as they're going yet again. Kick it to Burton. The Spider. Oh, great stuff. A lovely ball around Vidovic. He's kicked a half forward. No mark taken down there. Muir a chance. Now Burrows again. Not taken out of the contest with a good tackle. Ball right on 50 from Peckett. Now Mildenhall and Anderson. Bounce favours the Dockers. They've got the numbers as well. Allen, will he go to Chisholm? He provided the shepherd to keep Jones at bay. Punch away by Shanahan. Ineffective. Delaney over the top. But it's going to be a turnover. They might be able to get away with this, the Saints. But boy, they've been working overtime in defence in the first few minutes of the final quarter. Harvey, maybe he should have tried to punch from the back, but boy, are they in trouble down there now. Finally, Devonport. Oh, the bounce doesn't even go for him, but he will clear.
Kick by Devonport, short of half forward. Delaney dives and takes the mark. Dominating at the moment, the Dockers. Away to Scotty Chisholm. An exciting runner. Drawing players up the field. The short pass not perfect. On the bounce, Mann pulled off it. No free kick. Waters back with his hand pass to Wills. A thumping kick from a standing start to the goal square. It sits. Hutton is there. Taken away by Shanahan. And again, Jamie Shanahan finds the safety of out of bounds.
St Kilda looked totally unease here. They're unable to get the ball out of defence with run. I think what they need to look at is Peter Everitt. He's at centre half for them. Put him up as a second ruckman on the ball and bring Stewart Loewe up to centre half forward. Let's see if they can at least get the ball to the centre.
Wakelin gets the ball down to Keogh. Peckett. Pull down. And he'll take a free kick. Is it coming back or a relayed free? I think it's coming back to Justin Peckett. And the crowd not too sure why it should have done that. But I think the push in the back, at the moment the kick was delivered. Across the ground he goes to Wakelin. Well, the crowd trying to coach them from the grandstands. The kick by Wakelin up the centre wing, straight to the opposition. Chisholm takes the mark. Look out here. Space for the Dockers. Ben Allen runs into a space at half forward. It sits all right for him. He approaches the 50. He's hardly had a kick all day, the skipper, but watch this one. Across the face of goal. And I think Mark just inside the field of play, so no score.
Correct, Drew. But it's out at the wrong end for the Saints. They've got to get some scores on the board. 4 goals to really make a contest of this. Winmar can't handle it. Everitt likewise. Again, the Dockers with the numbers. It's flipped up to Kickett from Ridley. Oh, lovely balk again by Kickett. Great skills onto the Spider. Burton from half forward. He's gone across the ground, looking for McManus. McManus snares it right on 50. Still he goes, draws one player. That's Brown. Goes at goal and has kicked it. Great goal.
Well, you'd imagine McManus has got an opponent, but you wouldn't know it from that.
I call him the Senator. 14-9 to 9-4, 58 to 93, and the Dockers on their first trip here looked like coming away with the biggies.
And the characteristic of the game that the Dockers play that allows McManus this sort of space is width, is that they are not always concerned with playing the ball up and down the goal line, that they are quite prepared to toss it right out to the other side. McManus was there, finished it.
Back in the middle, and Burton wins. Waters underfoot, just gets the ball out. Well done by Muir. He's pretty hard at it, the ex-North Melbourne reserves player. Jones flips it over the top to Waters. The Dockers off and running again. Long kick to full forward. Good wrestling going on. No whistle on the play. Comes to Zilla. He's been desperately quiet. No distance. It comes out here to Mildenhall, who has a pot shot and kicked another one. He gets his second. And the Dockers running riot.
The biggest lead all day, 41 points.
And they have total control of the ball. At all contests, the Dockers are outnumbering the St Kilda players, but still being able to hassle them and put the pressure on. And Mildenhall setting up quite perfectly there for that rebound out of defence, and then a very nice kick from on 50. They are controlling the ball at all contests at the moment.
Georgiou back on for the Saints. Devonport off, I think it was. Burke, a knock on. Mildenhall over the head of Burke. Mildenhall again through his legs. Jones gives him good support through very heavy traffic, taken down by Georgiou in the tackle. Umpire lets it go. Zirakowski, Anderson, and the Saints finally get a score on the board in the last quarter. Stewie Loewe, lead and mark. He's their leading goal kicker with 4. My memory serves me correctly. I think 3 of those came in the first quarter. Nicky Winmar, the only multiple goal kicker, was 2.
And if St Kilda can get it up to Stewart Loewe, he hasn't let them down once today. He will certainly give them a chance in these final minutes.
Half the quarter is gone, though. They kicked 6 goals against Hawthorn in the first half of a last quarter here a few weeks back, but then they stopped. They need something to happen like that again. The difference to 40 points now. 4 goals, 3 to Stewie Loewe. They just haven't had it from midfield. Ridley to the outer side. It's Norrish with the sun in his eyes, albeit a weak one. The mark was better than the sun, believe me. A couple of bounces. Anderson taken out of the contest. Muir goes down. Some very heavy shepherding behind play. He's still going, Norrish. Past Brown. Kick up towards half forward. Now Mann. Allen could kick a goal. Dhurrkay loves to kick them. 40 metres out. Twists, turns and kicks another one. Well, they brought it from one end of the ground to the other, Terry. 105 to 59, and pretty spectacularly.
It was, and David Muir take the accolades because he was the one providing Jason Norrish with all the room he wanted. Norrish had taken it from the kick-off and had carried it some 3 bounces. Right beside him all the way was David Muir, laying on Shepherds. Then the play was able to continue on. It was Ben Allen being able to butter up, and Gary Dhurrkay in the right spot as a half-forward flanker should be.
What a scoreline, 105 to 59. St Kilda, fresh from a win over Carlton at this ground last week, are getting belted by the league debutants. Smith, number 4, went without it. Norrish has been very good all day. McManus, his hand pass was pretty high, but Burton was the one on the end of it, just as well. Burke, here's Burton again. Oh, nobody coming towards him, so he's got a weak. Muir spins through the tackle. Mann has given Frawley a headache. Here comes Dhurrkay again for another one. 2 in a minute.
3-3 for the match.
The impressive thing to me about the Fremantle Dockers is the way that they have been able to settle into league football so very well. And I think all the credit needs to go to Jared Neesham. He hasn't taken anything different to what these boys have been doing for the last 3 or 4 years within the Waffle League. He hasn't altered the game plan, and I think that similarity between Waffle football and what these players are playing now has aided their acclimatisation into AFL football.
They're going to do what Adelaide has found difficult doing in the last season or 2, and that's winning in Melbourne. Mildenhall off the ground. Now towards centre wing. Dhurrkay chases, but the kick off the ground from Pickett is out of bounds, and the attendance this afternoon, 14,731. And apart from the 31, 14,700 will leave the ground disappointed, but Jared Neesham has a smile on his face. Or as close to one as you'll get from a coach in the last quarter. Burton gets it down. Harvey loses it. Waters, Ridley, McManus on centre wing. Oh, Winmar! Like in the wrestling, a flying mare has given away the free kick, and Nicky does not like it. A flying tackle. Let's look at it again. Well, umpires usually pay that as in the back. And who am I to argue?
Well, it's frustrating for Nicky Winmar. He's in here, drives him well. It was just the momentum of McManus going forward, I think, that had the end result be that.
Kick by Delaney. Everitt found himself at both ends of the ground today. Anderson has done a terrific job. Marks over Delaney, former Hawke Premiership player. Oh, he has to go back across the ground. He's going back towards the goals. Oh, that's like going by Darwin to avoid the traffic from here. Wakeland. Well, they're retaining possession. You'd say that. Still he comes, Anderson. Oh, Muir! What a leap.
He's been good.
Sensational grab. Let's take a look at that again.
This is a great mark.
Mildenhall. He goes forward, outside 50, long drop punt. It may just about be there. Or as Hutton got it, it might have just whacked the post on the way through. It has. Look at the mark again. He hung there, Terry.
It's a great jump, isn't it? Usually a player uses his knee to be placed on the opposition's shoulders. Well, David Muir's gone for the foot on it.
7 minutes remaining in the game. 5 goals to nothing in the last quarter. The Saints have managed just 2 behinds. Frawley, spoiled by Mann. It comes to Georgiou. Norrish, good player. Spun in the tackle by Smith, holding the ball. Norrish, 19 possessions. Waters, leading possession winner with 27 for the Dockers. Centre of the ground, McManus goes for a big fly. Here's Waters building on his stats again. To Muir, the kick towards the 50. Allen with a new opponent now, Georgiou. And Ben Allen will take the free kick from just outside 50.
I think Anderson's on Delaney at the moment.
Allen now up to 13 possessions. So he's starting to get a few in this last quarter. Plenty of distance with the kick. So way to the left for a behind. So he's goalless today. He's kicked just 2 behinds. And Waters and Allen, I seem to remember last week at Subiaco Oval, kicked about 7 behinds between them. Today, 3 behinds, no goals between them.
Well, who'd be a league coach? Stan Alves, cock of the walk last week. Bottom of the jar tonight. No mark taken out there. Delaney, as I said, he's got Anderson as an opponent today, or now. And Mann. I don't want to influence Terry Wheeler's decision about votes, but I think he'd certainly be in your considerations, Terry, wouldn't he?
Yeah, no need to, Peter. For mine, he's been the best player on the ground there at the early part of the game when leadership and focal point was needed at centre forward. Peter Mann was the man. He's finished up now with something like 21 possessions, 6 marks.
Going for his fourth goal.
Great effort.
Kick from right on 50. Breeze not a factor. And he's got it. Well, the Dockers in a bit of a canter in the last quarter, just kicking their 6th goal. 6 goals, 3 they've added to 2 behinds, and they're tallying to 18-11.
And that's a very good kick from 50 actually. Deliberate, knew exactly what he was doing. Peter Mann has been very good right throughout. John Hutton at full forward. Groom has been down today, but between those 3, very good forward options.
Back in the middle, and the margin is out to 60 points. They led by only 23 at 3/4 time. Here's Keogh for the Saints, just forward of centre wing. Up towards Loewe. He's behind this time. Kick down towards the pocket. It comes to the front. Delaney puts the foot on the accelerator, then pauses, then looks for the best option and kick it. And he comes to Wolf. Now Waters. Scott Waters goes towards the outer side of the ground. McManus, yes, Winmar is his man. That's who he was on earlier on when he was 50 metres in the clear. Here comes Nicky Winmar. McManus has got him without the ball. No whistle on the play. McManus in for a second chop at it. Winmar again. Down the outer boundary line. And the mark's taken by Brown. Tony Brown, 20-year-old from the Geelong Falcons. He's left-footed, short of half forward. Wolf did all right to get in front of Everitt. There he is again, Clinton Wolf. The umpire comes in and will ball it up.
He's fearsome side, isn't he?
Well, he'd be a good player for that side. I think certainly got the possibility of developing himself into a cult figure, and really works hard at his game.
Tell you what, I wouldn't pinch his beer in a pub. But plenty of good pubs in Fremantle. Jones, Burke, pushed as he kicked. Stewart low, let's see how he can move on that knee. Snapshot too high, little 9-iron chip shot that one, bends it back, right into the arms of Mildenhall. He gives it away. They're playing, well, they're waxing it now. This is Madigan. Hawke Premiership player, not a great kick. Terrific high jumper at his college in Melbourne. It was Marsland. Kick away by Joel Smith. Great mark. Is he paying it?
Well,
Push.
often if you come down with it, you're entitled to be paid the mark, but he was up there for a week.
Tony Delaney. A hand on the shoulder, maybe. Gee, that's tough. Warwick Kappa had him paid like that a few years back, didn't he? Bardsley has the free kick. Kick number 15. He's been busy, but of course the St Kilda defence has been under a lot of pressure. He's now on the forward line, though. And off the hands of the pack and rushed through for a behind from number 5, Todd Ridley. 9-6 to 18-11. So the difference, 59 points. Stan Alves does not look pleased at the moment. And why should he?
No, not much at all for Stan to be enthused about here this afternoon. St Kilda at half-time certainly had their chance to go on with the game, but since then it has been all Fremantle.
In the last quarter, it's been 6 goals, 3 to 3 behinds, and 2 of those 3 behinds have been rushed, conceded by Fremantle. Muir's hand pass out to McManus. And he sprints off down the ground, looking for movement. Mann might get 5. There he was. It comes to Dhurrkay. He goes for another one. He's kicked it. Well, he's kicked 4, 3 in the last quarter. So for 2 weeks in a row, Gary Dhurrkay has kicked 4 goals. Where was he in all those weeks in the waffle?
Who knows? What a smile.
It's quite incredible, isn't it? The player of his calibre, as we see Stuart Loewe coming off now and Lazar Vidovic coming back on, and Stewart was out there to try and give his side the lift, but St Kilda unable to win enough possessions out of defence and through the centre of the ground in order to give Stuart Loewe in the full forward position enough opportunities to win the game.
McManus has been pretty spectacular too, hasn't he? 15 kicks now.
They've been well served right around the ground by the Fremantle side. You'd struggle to identify a player who has been beaten.
Everitt and the Wolfman. 19-11 to 9-6, just over 2 minutes to go here at Waverley. Burke did well to get a kick out of that and marked by Kickett. Short of midfield. McManus, can he get his 16th kick? The 2 number 8s, Peckett. Beats him to it. Good tackle by McManus. And the umpires pulled it up here. In fact, it wasn't a good tackle because he said Peckett didn't have the ball. But it's going to Anderson. If he can work all that out. He did grab him. So, maybe he can't take it. He was limping there, Peckett, so that'd be the reason for that. Burke. Well, he's tried all day. Coughlin. Can't do much with that. Kick it, Ridley. Vidovic ridden into the ground. Terrific display though by the Dockers. Their first trip to Waverley, some sort of revenge because they were beaten by the Saints in the Ansett Cup at East Fremantle. The margin that day was 35 points when Stuart Loewe was on fire. That hasn't been the case this afternoon. The Dockers really coming of age now in the competition. Here he goes again, McManus. And he gets on his own more often than... Oh, look at that, straight to Dhurrkay. He's kicked 3 goals in this quarter, as he did in the first quarter last week. Wills.
Well, I think Winmar's gone back to Dhurrkay, and he's getting a flogging there too.
And Peckett limping off the ground just in front of us as Wills takes the kick. He's found his skipper, Ben Allen, who's had a great last quarter.
Kick by Allen to the point of the square, and here's Peter Mann again. It wasn't Danny Frawley outmarked, but Wakeland, and Mann is lining up for his 5th goal, which would be 4 after half-time.
It's been one-way traffic since half-time, really, especially in this last quarter.
You know, the Saints just 3 behinds in this last term. The Dockers so far have kicked 7 for the quarter. And Mann gets another one.
His 5th. So the leading goal kicker in the match.
Well, last week he kicked 3 against the Bears. This week 5. Here was a bloke who played at half-back for North Melbourne. He couldn't get a run on the forward line with Wayne Carey.
No, I'm sure that North Melbourne would like to have him now, but there's a fair bit of traffic there at North Melbourne, wasn't there? Carey, Roberts, Longmire and McKernan. But Peter, man, this has been a very good move for his football career to go to back home to Western Australia and join the Dockers, where he is a leading light in their side.
And look at the scoreline, 131-60, and there was only 3 points in it at half-time. Can you believe that? Norrish, gee, he's been good. Waters, long kick into the forward line. No mark taken. Wills, well, he kicked some great goals in the second quarter. There's the siren, and the siren robbed him of one, really, because it's gone through for a goal, but it won't count. And so, in the end, it really was no contest. There's the best man on the ground. I think we'd all agree with that. 2011, 131 Fremantle, winning at Waverley on their first trip here in a premiership match, easily defeating St Kilda. A very disappointing St Kilda lineup after half-time, and the Saints goalless in the final quarter.
And Pete, that's their biggest win. 71 points the margin.
Beat last week.
Biggest win in the competition. It's their 5th for the year. They're now 5-5, and that surprises probably not Jared Neesham, but most over here in the eastern states, I'd say.
It's their biggest win and certainly their best win. That they were able to come over to this venue and take St Kilda on. St Kilda on in high spirits with a very good win last week against Carlton. Well done, Freeman.
Let's go to Russell Morris downstairs.
I got Peter. I got Clinton Wolf, mate. Sensational effort, first time at Waverley. Good win.
Yeah, we knew we had to come out hard, especially after we watched the replay last week, and St Kilda really fired up. So, first 10 minutes we really tried to make sure we went in as hard as possible, and we sort of evened it out and then slugged it out. And the last 20 minutes of that third quarter, we really sort of hang on, and then we ran over the top. So, it worked out really well. Yeah.
Were there any plans that Jared put to you before the game about St Kilda after watching against Carlton last week?
Just try and hit the man receiving the ball, really, and I thought Jason Norrish did a fantastic job on Robert Harvey. I mean, you can't restrict him to less than 20 possessions, but what he did, he just did the best that he possibly could have done, and full credit to Chuck for that.
And you're a bit of a cult figure over in Fremantle now with a shaved head and all that. You're handling that all right over there?
Try and stay out of the way as much as possible, but Big Spider seems to get the bulk of it, so I'm quite happy about that, and he played well today, so just hopefully we can keep on a roll now and stay in the 8 and see how we go in September.
Thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of the year.
Thanks, Russ.
Okay.
There's the two heroes at a wolf and a spider in Fremantle. 60-131, 2011-9-6. We'll take a break.